Hi everybody, good day to you. Welcome. This is video 31. We're going to discover some great new things that make us happy and uncover the world we were supposed to be born into in the first place. So the younger you are, the closer, the easier it will be for you. Because, yeah, so I hope your day's going good. And I just got up. It's 10:20 roughly in the morning on Friday the 5th of July 2019. And yeah, so welcome to video 31, and we're going to get right into this and dig deep and throw our hands high in the air with gratitude and happiness. So yesterday, video 30, the title of this video I don't know yet, we haven't found out yet, but that will be soon. This will probably be another half hour or whatever video. And so yesterday's video was called video 30, Heaven Level 4, walk into the light, step into the light, and by doing that we the accompanying attitude is to willingly give up our own comfort and to, you know, if a feature of the world that mankind has been experiencing since the fall of man is a world that is has been blocking the facts, so that we cannot learn and therefore live centered on true love. So now the difference is, okay, so now we're living centered on true love. And to do that, we just center our mind. We think about it all day. And we know we're centered on true love because we are either saying it in our mind or whatever way we find out to keep our mind thinking centered on true love. If we ask that question to ourselves every moment, then we are centered on true love. If, you know, or in some, if, you know, if we need to determine if we are. And then, so the world, since it wasn't, it was blocking true love, then it was a world that was actually, the purpose of that world is to destroy God's love and destroy humankind and the earth. And that's why that's why we're brought so many visions in the old world of destruction and discord, in order that we would never believe in God and heaven and experience true love. But now that true love has come, and Reverend Moon has explained that in the pledges, in the 8 family pledges, that at the end of each one in the English language version, that we do whatever we pledge our lives. Why would we pledge our lives? What is it anyway? The pledge says whatever it says, and then centered on true love. So there are 8 pledges. It's called the Family Pledge. And I was thinking on the bus yesterday, why would we pledge? Because our God cares about us and wants us to maintain our position of being centered on true love. And so a pledge, of the pledge in this is just is the words that Reverend Moon explained, that and in the tradition that he followed in order that we would do it. I mean, I don't think he necessarily needed to say the pledge every day, but we center ourselves in the morning, and we say on Sundays, but actually I think it's on She'il. On She'il is every 8 days. I'm not sure, I don't keep up with it, but it's, you know, could be today. but every 8 days they're on shield, and on those mornings where we are directed, it is traditional in the unification community to get up early and say the family pledge with the family. So the mother and the father together, and then if there's children, then when the children are there, to get together as a family. And then also on the church holy days, I think there are 6 of them, or however many, to do that also. So the purpose of that is because why would we pledge? What is the difference? The difference is that in the world that is trying to eliminate true love, is trying to hide true love and heaven and anything beneficial and good for human beings, which was started by Lucifer and followed by people, because that was our source of spiritual information and directives and emotions from nearly the beginning. Then it did not contain. So the pledge is, we say the pledge to stay centered on true love, and then and to stay centered on, that's it. We pledge because why would we want our children to say the pledge? That's what we ask, because that is what God is doing. When God creates a tradition through Reverend Moon to do something, it is in order for us to stay on track, for us to promise ourselves. It's like the commandments. It's like the commandments, but I think there's been a bit of a misconception, or anything. The commandments are like misconstrued, as if we always must live by a commandment. That's it. The lack of information in the commandments is that at some point we enter the direct dominion if we're following God, and in this case we have true parents. Before now we didn't have true parents. So the purpose of the commandments was to keep people centered as best it could, and even though they would never in that era until Jesus came, but Jesus was not able. He was killed by the forces of evil. We needed someone to come and be an example and finish their lives, or at least some major portion of their lives, and get to the point where true love is here to stay. And then everyone, just like that person, can enter the direct dominion. Because once one person does it, I guess this is my belief, and I think I'm going to go with it. And we have 30 videos. We are to discover God's message from Sunny Moon. And then that's up to you, what you do with it, of course. So the pledge, the family pledge, we're going to come up with that. We're going to solidify that more. Okay, but so far it's just to help us keep on track. Our parents might give us something. They teach us things to help protect us from making bad choices. Okay? That makes sense. Why not? Right? So the pledge, probably the people watching this may know the pledge, and actually I believe some people that watch this do not speak English, and I'd love to translate these, and also may not speak as much English. So I sure would like to translate this to Filipino and to which used to be called Tagalog, and to Visayan, and there are apparently 4 languages in the Philippines. The main one is Filipino, which is Tagalog, but apparently it's called now Filipino. I shouldn't call it Tagalog. And then There's Bisayan, which is V or B-I-S-A-Y-A-N, Bisayan. They spell it with either of those letters. Apparently in the Philippines, the spelling is not so important. In America, you know, if someone misspells a word, it's like a major offense. Anyway, which I like the Philippine way. the Filipino way. So I probably first will be translating these into Filipino and have the subtitles at the bottom. That'd be nice. And and then, you know, it'll just have a pop-up list. That's it. It'll have a pop-up list, and you can choose any language you want, and then the captions will be there to say the words that I say. It'll be, you know, manually transcribed. There's a choice to do that. Anybody can do that on a video if you want to. I think I've allowed transcription or whatever, so that if someone watching it wants to translate it, then they can. They just click on the video, and it just takes about 3 clicks, and then they can go ahead and transcribe the video. It's a video somehow. I haven't tried it. That will be exciting. So yeah, the family pledge. So yeah, and so what is the family pledge? Just to have it here, video 31 will have the family pledge in it. We'll read it. I'll read it out. And yeah, so I'll just, you know, then you'll have it, and I'll be able to refer back to it. Video 31 at such and such at 12 minutes as the family pledge. So here's the family pledge. There are 8 pledges, and yeah, this one's in English. So the first one is our I usually start by saying family pledge, because that actually, there's a piece of paper that has that on it at the top. It says family pledge. So I read that word, those words, family pledge, and then I go 1. Our family, the owner of Chanaguk, pledges to 1. Our family, the owner of Chanaguk, pledges. I forgot. I just said it about 20 minutes ago. Well, maybe an hour. I actually say it in bed. That's super cheating. I mean, that's, yeah. That would probably be considered dishonorable and not acceptable. But since my faith is like borderline, then anyway, I hope it's acceptable. I feel it is, you know. But anyway, and it takes me probably an hour, because I say a lot of different prayers with it, and I fall asleep in between. So it's kind of like a spiritual experience and at the same time. So I've got to get my mind kind of maybe. Yeah, once I start saying the first word of that particular, of the first pledge, I'll remember it. And I have a piece of paper on there. Yeah, I don't think I'll have a problem remembering it after I get the first word of the first pledge. Our family, the owner of Chanaguk. All 8 pledges start with that in English. Our family, the owner of Chanaguk, pledges to, and then whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our family, the owner of Chanaguk, pledges to perfect the family. No, that's not number 1. I'll get out the paper. It's right here, as a matter of fact. See, here it is in English and Korean. It's English on one column and Korean on the other. So our family, in case I'll just leave it here, because once I won't need it. Our family, the owner of Chanaguk, pledges to seek our original homeland. Our family, the owner of Chanaguk, pledges to seek our original homeland. I guess I will use it. It's amazing. And build the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven, the original ideal of creation, by centering on true love. 2. Our family, the owner of Chanaguk, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending God and our heavenly parent. There's two places that have little tweaks. Our Heavenly Father, we pledge to perfect the dutiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in the nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and earth by centering on true love. 3. Our family, the Honor Chanukuk, pledges to perfect the 4 great realms of heart, the 3 great kingships, and the realm of the royal family by centering on true love. We'll explain that later, if when the time comes. 4. Our family, the Honor of Chanukuk, pledges to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is God's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. 5. Our family, the Honor of Chanukuk, pledges to strive forward every day to advance the unification of the spiritual world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. 6. Our family, the Honor of Chanukuk, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying God and true parents. What edit? I made a little edit there, I think. This is according to my friend that is born in Korea and of course speaks Korean. There's several little edits. Okay, 6 again. Our family, the Honor of Chanukuk, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying God, our Heavenly Father, and to perfect a family that conveys heaven's blessing to our community by centering on true love. 7. Our family, the Honor of Chanukuk, pledges through living for the sake of others to perfect a world based on the culture of heart, which is rooted in the original lineage by centering on true love. Is that right? Yes. 8. Our family, the Honor of Chanukuk, pledges, having entered the completed Testament age, to achieve the ideal of God and human beings united in love through absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute cooperation. It says the unification is... Anyway, when this comes out, it says absolute obedience. But I heard that in Korean that word does not translate well to the word obedience. Anyway, so absolute cooperation and to perfect the realm of liberation and complete freedom in the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven by centering on true love. So that's the 8 pledges, and we'll talk about that again, I'm sure. Yes, and then I say it in Korean also, but my Korean, I'm sure, is probably ununderstandable. Oops, there we go, focus. Yes, so here we are, video 31. So we say the pledge because our parents wish us to stay on track. And Adam and Eve did not have the family pledge. And they did not, they were inside God's realm as children are when they're born. Just exactly like all children are when they're born, in my opinion. But they, so it just turned out Lucifer had made a bad decision, and then Eve made a bad decision also. And those 2 bad decisions led to hundreds of thousands of years of evil domination of God's children. And now, in 2019, we are finally going back and restoring the world to the moment before the fall and accomplishing the fulfillment and perfection of mankind. So, of course, this was done in Jesus' time to some extent, and then because of Reverend Moon's birth and life, to redeem the position, to raise the position of mankind through his own living. It's just one person. I mean, even if there was no one on earth, how would that have worked? If there was no one on earth, then it would have been just like Adam and Eve. And then when he got to the spirit world, he would restore all those people. Yeah, that were on earth, the billions of people that have lived since Adam and Eve. And we're all in a fallen state, because there's no way to reach a true state, because the need for free will is accomplished by each person. So how is it that a world of 1 billion people can do what Adam and Eve could not? It is God. Once it is fulfilled by one person, then I'm not sure. That will come in deeper investigations. This is only level 5. We have about 175 more to go. Okay? But the question comes, and yeah, so we'll touch on that later. Yeah, because we're going to proceed. It's like riding the rapids in a boat. We just, if we get in an eddy, all you need to do is to get out of the eddy is point the boat somewhere and then keep going in that direction. So we want to keep going here, and we'll understand. We'll understand everything in due time. So yesterday I went out and went around and found it very helpful to keep the idea that we shall soon be centered on true love, God, family, and heaven. That was my focus yesterday. I just repeat those words over and over, essentially. But it was nice because I was able to talk to a few people. It's very difficult for me usually to talk to people, just people that I don't know. And I'm sure that's not an uncommon experience in going out in the world, in the USA, not in North Korea necessarily. That's when you go to the channel Asian Boss and watch the video interviews in South Korea of North Korean defectors, there are many tragic and horrible things going on in North Korea, and it needs to stop. And in China as well, though it's less so. That these people are being taken advantage of hugely because of their regime. Anyway. So, but the question came up: is there anything good about North Korea? After living in South Korea, the people that defect, is there anything good about North Korea? And they said yes. He said, in North Korea, a person knows everything about the people around them. They know their names, who they are, where their family is, because they all share that. And they said here it's very cold. When you go down the street, it's not easy at all to meet people and be friends with them. And that is the nature of a world that is deep into the fallen following, the contrary realm of it's not a true love realm. It's a realm that's contrary. So I know it's not uncommon just for me. But yesterday I was able to talk to two bus drivers. Of course, these are very nice people. And also to a guy that was sitting waiting for the fireworks. I walked by and he was just sitting there in the it was it's becoming dark, in a small parking lot next to the entrance a little bit with a chair, and just sitting there. And I said, and then I realized why he was sitting there. I said, you're and I went back and just talked to him for a second, and he was very friendly. But small exchanges, it made me feel good about the whole day because of those several small exchanges, 3 or 4. Yeah, and there was another one on the bus with a guy who was 60-some-odd year old high jumper, and he said not high jump, triple jump. So, now I understand. Because triple jump, I was thinking, it's high jump, aren't you? No, triple jump is when you run, right, and then you do a long jump. Oh wait, triple jump, doom, doom, doom. And the last one is a broad jump. Anyway, I'll have to check that. I'll have to Google that because I kind of forgot. Anyway, he was all into it, and he was talking about his health, and he's a very interesting person. And he travels around, apparently going to the meets, and he's still into it. I don't know what. So he must be participating as well. Anyway, so that was. Anyway, it was very exciting. It made yesterday quite a, yeah. So, today, video 31, we are here together, investigating heaven. We are the occupants of heaven. So God, our Creator, is so happy right now that we are the new people in heaven. I think God is saying to himself, I cannot believe it. Somebody's entering heaven. This is where God is. 31. Video 31. God is here inside our realm. That's pretty exciting. God is here inside our realm. We are in the same realm. By entering heaven, by escaping the contrary realm, then we are sharing the space with God. So when the first thing that comes to mind when I say that is Adam and Eve. That's where Adam and Eve were. They were sharing their space with God. They had a direct connection with God. And the divine principle explains that when people, before people become perfect at age 21 or whatever it is, I think it's age 21, after 3 7-year courses, the foundation, growth, and perfection stages, I guess it's at the end of the growth stage where we enter the direct dominion. And then our perfection takes another 7 years. So at the top of the growth stage, you're at age 14. If we're talking exactly in years, but maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe it's just when the person's ready. Maybe it's 15. Maybe it's 13. 13 doesn't sound old enough. But anyway, these are all new concepts, and it's nothing that you can find in a book, except the ones that Reverend Moon wrote from his speeches, and except for the ones that were published that are of Reverend Moon's speeches. Did he write speeches? He definitely wrote speeches, but he spoke them. We didn't hear. They weren't distributed through a book. They were distributed by him speaking them and then being transcribed. That's how. I think that's the Of course, he wrote The Divine Principle. That was a book that was distributed, and it is of his writings. Yeah. I know the 8 holy books that he left for all mankind to read and study and to know out of all the volumes. There are all very carefully organized and chosen through the words that they have and the organization of the they're not all chronological. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think so. You think I know that, but I have not read very much at all in my whole life. I have not read probably 3 or 4 books, except for Unificationist books. I have read that one, The Completed Testament of the Ideal Kingdom. Oh, and by the way, it wasn't 25 years ago, because 19 years ago is the year it was published. I mean, it was the year it was released, because it was released on True Parent's birthday, I believe, in the year 2000. And we're talking about the Gregorian calendar, not the lunar calendar, which is used in Asia. But I guess the Gregorian calendar is used there also. But the church goes by the lunar calendar also, I think, in Korea. Not sure. But anyway, the lunar calendar, and there's another name for it, zodiac calendar. Anyway, so it's a different day. It's like February is, the first day of the lunar calendar is usually in January, February, I guess. I don't think it's ever in March. Yeah. And it's yeah, it's a year, of course, because that's how the seasons repeat themselves. But it's divided into 12. Wait a minute. So is ours. I mean the Gregorian calendar. It's divided, yeah. But the months aren't the same length. Yeah. They differ. The total is the same. It has to be, right? Otherwise the seasons are going to be, it's not going to be the universe, it's not going to agree with the rhythm of the universe. So it's just a different assignment of the days, that's all. So, yeah. So we are in the same realm as God. So by entering heaven, this is very important. This is life-changing, and it's the answer. It's God's. Reverend Moon talked about a lifeline. Always to keep your lifeline with God, and that it's like a rope. You stay connected to the lifeline to God, and there are ways of doing this. As throughout my life, in different times, I had different ways, like sacrificing, like taking cold showers, or doing something that my body didn't like. That was like probably the number one way, like fasting. The body doesn't like to fast, or cold showers, or some condition, any condition at all, that it goes against the bodily comfort. Apparently, and the reason for that apparently is that the fall involved misuse of the body for a person's selfish comfort, and ignored the comfort of God, which is outside ourselves. Although, yeah, we are one with God. At some point, we become one with God, and at that point, then of course we don't consider things that are just good for us. We consider everything based on God and other people. That's the direct dominion. We don't have to. We don't have to make a choice anymore. We already. It's instilled. It's completely instilled in. So apparently, that's why indemnity conditions, which is the conditions that keep our life connection, have a time period and an explanation of what the act is, and a time period, and then some kind of the decision to do it. And yeah, and the reason for that would be because because the fall occurred. It's a way to, God was hurt, and not only was he hurt, it was an unimaginable act to have created this amazing world for his children, and then his children were separated. So it's an abuse against God, and people, and God is an absolutely, truly loving being. So there must be some sort of, I suppose it's the way it is until heaven is established. And even after, possibly, we have to go through some process. Well, it would be the growth stage. We have to reach the top of the growth stage and maintain our connection to God. So that's the purpose of what's called indemnity conditions, so that we could come back to God. Since humanity was separated from God, then the people that find God must have an indemnity condition, and maybe it's for the whole world, so that there will be no necessity for indemnity conditions once the world is restored, once everyone knows where is heaven and follows heaven. I guess the purpose of the indemnity condition is to allow in the future all people to unite with God in heaven. So we're at 34, 36. Yeah, so this is pretty exciting. So video 31 is heaven is the realm that God is in. So that is super, super, super exciting. So God is the one that made the universe, that created the planets and space and the stars and the constellations, the galaxies, that's it. And then the earth, created the earth and all the mountains and rivers and thought of it. Somehow love came to God, and then God created all these things for our happiness, so that we could, and for our, to keep us involved in community and, following the cycle of true love. It's spherical and it's round, and we night and day repeat themselves, and everyone is interacting because the interaction is what maintains love. And the feature of love is to constantly increase interaction every day. That is the natural course of true love. The presence of true love is constantly expanding. It cannot stop. It cannot retract. It only must expand and improve and be productive. So that is super exciting, that we are now sharing the realm with God. So it is God that is directing us here to be here now.